In a world of remakes and remasters,
Are we playing your
what was once sacred and cool has now soured and become lame.
Red?
Gone are the days of Pogs and Cowabunga. Now is the reign of slurp juice and dabs. Kids these days don't even know how bad they've got it. Now it's up to the best generation to rise to the occasion and make a show that dares to go where a lot of other nerdy shows have already gone quite a bit. That's right. They're going to talk about it a lot.
Hello, and welcome to the show, everyone. This is Best Gen, where nerds complain about nerdy things, and we call it Best Gen because all of us on the show are, well, más o menos from the same generation, and we happen to think that it's the best one, not because we're better than you, but our movies certainly were, so strap on in and prepare to wax nostalgic as we reminisce upon the days of yore while simultaneously complaining about the stupid, dumb poo-poo movies that Hollywood is making today. And boy, we've got a lot to talk about today. I didn't think this would be a busy show, and then the reviews for Borderlands came out, so I was like, oh, we'll just have one. We'll finally have a show where we only have one thing to say, and we can just talk about House of the Dragon, and that'll be it. Silly, naive me. I don't want to see Borderlands, guys. I would appreciate it if no one makes me do it. I also just don't want to give them money.
Yeah.
Like, I already bought... Like, I've told the story before, but Corwin and I both bought the Tiny Tina's Wonderland, because we played Borderlands 2 together all the time. And so we thought, oh, it'll be super fun to play this D&D themed Borderlands game, and we finished up the tutorial, which took like 2 hours, and then the first mission was about trying to get two lesbians to hook up so that they can give you a gun, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
I will say
no, Mark Clark. What is this bull crap? I watched all of The Acolyte. I'm almost done editing my last 2 videos. I made a video on every episode of The Acolyte. That was the deal, you Indian giver. Okay? You have to finish watching Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
Shelf Help Gaming, yeah, David was 5 minutes early. David was the first one on the stream for first time in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Jared was 3 minutes late. Angry Mex is supposed to show up sometime. We might have someone from the underground swinging by if they can make it. It's kind of a chill.
Nice.
Yeah.
We got some wonderful people in the chat. We got Justin Hancock, Mark Clark, our inaugural channel member. If you want to become a channel member, like Mark Clark, who's so cool. Despite his reluctance to watch the best movie that Hollywood made in 2022, was that it?
Yeah. Amazing movie.
It's 99 cents. You get access to emojis, and you get to sleep at night with your conscience clean, knowing that you're helping feed my kids, which would be great.
Nice. I was gonna say, if you want somebody to watch Borderlands, I'm planning on doing it, so I can tell you about it myself, and you don't have to worry about it.
Oh boy, yeah. you just said that it just barely rose to 5%.
No, it's now at 9%. So still single digits, but only.
So
9%.
the funny story, for the first like 2 days, it was at 0%.
Yeah.
With about like 50 reviews, and then it popped up to 3% because one critic gave it a good score, and guess who it was? Grace Randolph.
Yeah. I think if you looked at the text of what her review was, it still wasn't like overwhelmingly positive. It was like, I mean, it was fun, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure Mark Clark gave you a membership, but if you got a membership from this week, that was courtesy of Prophet of the Dragon. We did our book club stream, and he was giving out memberships.
Yeah.
Very nice.
But Mark Clark's giving out a bunch too.
So, Jared, have you played any of the Borderlands games?
I loved them. I
think I started one of them at one point. I mean, they looked fun, and they're
really fun. The first two, at least. The first two are really fun. Borderlands 2 is creme de la creme.
And Borderlands 2 is the best one.
And everyone says that even the trailers looked terrible, and I'm looking at the trailers and I'm like, I'm not expecting anything great out of this, but it looked fun. I mean, not good, but fun. Hearing some of the other reviews, though, I'm bracing myself for all the terrible, and therefore will probably hate it a little bit less than even I would have otherwise. But yeah, it looks like it could be fun and dumb.
Yeah, we've got a lot of salty hate for the House of the Dragon season 2. I think I'm kind of on the defensive side here. I really enjoyed the finale. I also understand why people are frustrated with the finale.
I can kind of understand, but that's the thing. There's things like even Andor. I struggled a little bit with how like slowly paced it was, but I mean, well, not like poorly slow paced.
Yeah,
like, it was a slower, more methodical show. This House of the Dragon, Hot D. I felt like it's slowly paced, but it also still has a lot of really good action as well as good like drama and conflict going in. That to me, even though it's slower and isn't as action packed as you would think, it still doesn't seem slow to me.
Yeah.
So
the problem was the whole show that this whole season was just a build up to what was teased at the very end of the last season. Like, okay, now you know there's war coming.
Yeah,
this whole season was just okay, war's coming, and then it didn't. Which is fine. It was still good. It was still really, really good. But this episode didn't feel like a finale. It felt like it was leading up to something. And I would be fine if they didn't show the whole battle. I understand that, but I would have just liked, the armies to come together and then like two dragons to clash and then just cut to black. Something,
Yeah. Where I actually kind of feel a little different. Like where my response to that is a little bit of like, I think one of the things that they were showing is that it's. This process of going to war isn't an instantaneous thing. It isn't like we're going to go to war and like the next day they're at war.
Especially when both
time, and it takes that building. And you even see some of the leaders how they're trying to avoid war and how they're trying to. And I appreciate the drama of that and the realism of it takes time to put all these pieces together, and not just the time that it's get to put those pieces together, but all the intricacies of the ways that those are like jockeying against each other. Like you think about the Lannisters that were showing up and saying, we're going to be chilling here until we get to be escorted by a dragon. They're on the green side and they're like, we're going to fight with you, but we won't show up to the battle until we're protected in X, Y, and Z way. So like being able to see that and not feel like it's just brushed over as like and by the way, so a year later they finally get together and clash. I really enjoyed what they presented of it to us, and I was okay with the fact that it's showing this process,
Here, this is very accurate. But it made me like it more.
Well,
here's the thing. I totally understand David's frustration. I understand Salty's frustration. I understand I'm not in the popular group right now. Most people were pretty disappointed with season. I don't think anyone's saying it's outright bad, but they're saying it was a waste of time and it was lackluster.
But I'm not in a lot of the
here's
loops,
the thing.
So most of what I'm hearing is great stuff. So Yeah.
I especially the finale, I liked it more because I've read the book. And I think if I hadn't read the book, I might have been disappointed by the finale. But they added some stuff that really makes the stuff that's coming hit harder.
Well, and having not read the books myself, as I look at this comment, and I think from what I've heard about the books, that that it's much more like a history book, like it's biblical in terms of like it's giving you the highlights of a thing, just like the Bible and a lot of other history books. They give you the highlights, but now we're seeing the on the ground progression of it. So like our lives don't happen as quickly and as snappily as history books or those sorts of things do, you know?
I'm going to push back on you there, Salty. The Wheel of Time actively contradicts the book. But House of the Dragon fills in the bricks with mortar.
And it also, again, to that point of it filling in the bricks with mortar and the places where it seems like it might contradict the books, because the book is, from my understanding, written as this is a history told by somebody else who wasn't there. Yeah. There's a lot of, this is what people might tell in the history books, but this is what really happened, and then you could see how it's then spun into these extras.
The perfect example of what you're explaining right now is the ambush with Aegon and what's his brother's name? Aemon.
Aemon, yeah.
With Aemon and Aegon, the history books all say, oh yeah, they planned the ambush together, which is what you would want to say to cover up the fact that your king is an idiot.
Yeah, right. And it's understandable that coming from having read the books and having that understanding and perspective and taking that as gospel truth.
Definitely agree with you there. Like Mysaria is a waste of time.
Definitely.
Absolutely, and everything her character does is undeserved.
I don't have anything to compare to with that one, so I didn't mind it. But yeah, like the whole thing, and maybe you're used to approaching it that one way, but that doesn't mean that it necessarily contradicts to say that oh yeah, it happened like this, and then they're going to spin it that way. And I thought it also really did lend to that development of the character, being able to see Aemon making these really aggressive decisions, and Aegon making these really dumb decisions to try to cover his pride of I'm going to be able to do this, and he's not in a position to do that. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I really liked that. I thought that
the dragon battle scene was great.
Great.
I loved the dragon battle scene. The fast travel was bothering me a little bit until they showed that time was passing. But Rhaenyra was gone that whole time. There is fast traveling at the end in the penultimate episode with the dragons. Yeah. Flying from
chasing them, and it looks like they just looked out over the harbor, and you could see the
with the dragons flying in between Dragon Keep and King's Landing, or Dragonstone and King's Landing. That's 400 miles away. They're close relative to everything else, but that's a couple hours on Dragonback. So yes, that was fast traveling, and I didn't like that. So
I also wonder with that, because I heard that was an issue with the end of Game of Thrones as well. But at least for me, for the most part, something that would take days of foot travel or cart travel or whatever would be really, really fast on Dragon. So things like Aemon flying with Vhagar over to
it would still be a couple hours, but
it might be a couple. But even then, it didn't feel too bad. And again, like you said, they did a lot of things that did point to some time progression. They were subtler little nods to the fact that time had progressed.
They definitely did make some mistakes. Not nearly as bad as the final seasons of Game of Thrones, just teleporting across the map. And Wheel of Time season 2. Holy crap!
And not having seen either of those, but having seen even some of the Star Wars shows that I'm sitting here defending in a lot of ways, some of the ways that they just play around with time makes way less sense than this. And I remember there's been a handful of other movies that I've seen recently where it's my main complaint is I don't feel like I've been given an indication of progression of time very well. Whereas this one, they did make those little hints towards the progression of time in some of those, not all of them, like you said, not all of them, but in a lot of them.
And here, I'm sure you're referring to them traveling to talk to each other, which I kind of did have issue with. Them talking to the two queens talking to each other is not in the books, and I didn't particularly love that it was happening mid-season, because because it kind of felt like they were just doing like, girl power stuff to give them more screen time. And
which one? The time with the candles or the time in this last episode?
Both times, I imagine.
I'm getting there. So
Okay.
the time with the candles, I wasn't really a big fan that she would take that big of a risk just to talk to her friend, and especially because it didn't lead anywhere, the conversation, right? Nothing changed by having that conversation other than her determination to start the war. Even though in the episode right after that, she's still like, well, maybe we can take it slow. And you're like, no, come on. Like,
I liked that scene because she realized that she was in the wrong, but it was too late.
Yeah. But here's the thing. It bothered me that it wasn't in the book and that it was adding extra stuff, and I thought it was superfluous. Until they did it again in this last season, which I think saved it for me.
Yeah.
That Alicent comes to Rhaenyra and has that repeat conversation where she admits, yes, it's too late. What can we do to mitigate the damages? And the scene where she basically tells her, yeah, we can try and do this quickly. I can show up at the Capitol and just do a quick coup, but I'm still gonna have to kill your son.
Still have to kill him.
Like getting her to admit that, and the fact that she says yes to it, I thought was a really nice touch.
I've heard a lot of backlash online saying that that's so out of character.
No.
For Alicent to do that, and I
but here's and knowing what where her story goes for the rest of the book too.
Oh, okay.
This makes it better. This totally explains the choices that she makes later on.
This whole season, because they were saying this, she's always very protective of her children and excusing them for rape and murder and stuff, and but this whole season, her arc was realizing that she's made
a bad mom.
She's a bad
mom, and the cost for fixing it is going to be her son's head.
Yeah.
But as you saw, he's escaping.
Yeah, so that's another thing that I love about that.
And so of course Rhaenyra's going to be pissed, thinking, "Oh, I made a deal with you, and he's gone."
Going through with it. That's what I love about it, because it layers that. Because this is like when I remember watching.
Damon does get cucked though. He gets cucked. Doesn't do much this season, except for in the penultimate episode, I thought, or was it? No, yeah,
wasn't it this one?
Yeah, but I felt like he got to do some. He got to do some interesting stuff with the Tullys. House Tully
with Oscar Tully. Yep.
Yes.
It took too long.
Yeah.
But I would disagree with big moments stolen. Damon doesn't have anything to do in the books right now.
And I really love the conversations he's had in his trips, with his brother, and his coming to terms with, hey, you've always
this is the show giving giving him stuff so that he's still on screen, because he disappears
from struggling where he was supporting his brother, but he really still felt like there was something missing there, and fighting with Rhaenyra to coming around to okay, I am going to be 100% behind you, I mean, again, not knowing where the books goes, it sounds like that's where he ends up. So it connects those pieces in a way that makes it feel not rushed, I was kind of mad at you, but now I'm just going to be with you. You see part of what led to it. I wanted to say real quick with that whole Rhaenyra and Alicent thing, it reminds me a lot of Smallville with Lex and Clark, how they were great friends, and then you see how those things kind of just little misunderstandings and offenses build to them being these major enemies, and you had some of that happen to put them where they're at, and then you're seeing them kind of come together in a way that's then, just like you were saying, with her not going to be able to follow through with providing Aegon's head for Rhaenyra, it's going to add to the "you just betrayed me again" and lead to that. So that kind of misunderstanding, I think, is just really fascinating to see how that fuels that fight, that conflict. And so I think it's going to be great.
I really liked the finale, but I get it. I get the frustration, and I understand why people think it's a waste of time. I like it better because I've read the book. I think it's really building to something that's going to be awesome later on. And I also think we're kind of spoiled for the pacing that Game of Thrones eventually established. Was you could expect the penultimate episode to have a huge episode like Hardhome or the Battle of the Bastards, and then the finale would be the aftermath. You'd have a slower picking up the pieces, but the first couple seasons they start real slow. I mean, you do end with the spoilers, the main character dying in season 1.
Yeah.
But it's an execution. It's not like a big battle. You have a sword fight in like the penultimate episode, which is it's fun. Well, but it's not like Game of Thrones spent their first couple seasons doing a lot of this, doing a lot of slow build. Like, I don't even remember what the finale of season 2 was. That wasn't the siege of King's Landing, was it? That was like season 3. I'll have to look up what the finale of season 2 was, but it started slow as well, and I think House of the Dragon is going much faster.
Yeah,
and like pace, not just like events wise, but it's building at an even faster rate. And we did get like the dragon fight was amazing. I loved the dragon fight, and then the Red Sowing was the big moment in the penultimate episode. I'm pretty satisfied with. It would have been nice to finally get to war and get some catharsis. The season was supposed to end with the Battle of the Gullet.
Well, and a lot of people suspected that, but I don't know if I've heard anything.
No, it was initially supposed to end with the Battle of the Gullet, but because of the good feedback, George R. R. Martin was able to leverage a 4th season. And so structure-wise, they're like, okay, we'll push the Battle of the Gullet into season 3.
Which I think
and from the beginning, George R. R. Martin said, I think the best way to tell this is in 4 seasons. But they didn't know if they were going to be able to financially recover from the ending of Game of Thrones. Yeah. And so they planned it out to be 3. Yeah. And then now with the good reception, he's like, okay, can we do 4?
Yeah. Well, and I wonder too if there is a degree of like, okay, so season 1 was 10 episodes. This one was 8, and sure, he's taking that what he'd started out as a 3-season plan into a 4. But there's also just the way that streaming shows are now, where you've only got 8 episodes, and it's like, yes, you could have told some of this in 3 episodes if you wanted to go faster through some of these story points. But again, it felt for me, it felt so good to just sit in and live in this world and see.
I mean, we also got
Aaron 12-episode season. Then yeah, we probably would have gotten to the Battle of the Gullet. But
we still got like a lot of like Aaron in was it episode 2? We got some really good action in this show.
You mentioned the dragon fight at Rook's Rest, which was was awesome. It was really, really cool and really well done. And then you were talking about how usually with Game of Thrones you got your penultimate episode with a really big something, even though it wasn't a big battle, but it was still the new dragon riders getting their dragons, which had some really cool stuff and would have been very expensive with lots of big dragon stuff going on. And big action scenes where what's the one that Hugh Hammer takes over that big action, not action, but it was
that sequence, that set piece works. It's filmed like a horror movie.
Yeah,
it's filmed like Jurassic Park. It's
it would have been expensive. It was a big like story thing that like just and seeing that action. I thought it was great. I
don't think it was a waste of time. I understand why people might think so, but season 3 is going to be dope. They can't really stall anymore. There's nothing more, like it's gonna pick up real good.
I'm excited, and the biggest thing is that again it just takes so long for these seasons to come out. Because when did season 1 come out?
I will say I do have a concern. Remember, I've been super vague about the change about the lesbian kiss, saying, look, I think it's not built up very well, but it does explain something that happens later in the book. It makes sense, except that they're also making another change now, which is going to complicate the thing that I thought that was fixing. They're getting rid of a character and replacing that character with Daemon's daughter.
Yeah.
And I think they can still make it work, but they're going to have to make additional changes to make the change that I thought was changing the change.
The one that's going after the dragon, the wild dragon. Because I don't know, I haven't read the books, but I have heard that is one where it was another character.
Sheep Stealer is supposed to have another character. I forget her name. It's like Penny or something like that.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, she's supposed to. There's supposed to be another writer,
And then she's supposed to actually end up with her own, which is supposed to be one of the 4 eggs that she was sent with.
I can't remember what she ends with.
Gotcha.
Event, yeah. She's from what I've heard. You're just watching a couple of other little things around, but it sounds
That
like
is
she's
one
supposed to end
segment
up with
that
Nettles is they've confirmed she's not in the show.
Have they confirmed it? Yeah.
It's funny because she's the character that's supposed to be black.
Yeah, I remember hearing about
Her
that.
character is canonically black, and they took her out of the show and then replaced the white characters with black people.
That's funny. That is
Well,
one.
I have heard that a lot of people really like
that
it.
change actually worked out pretty well. So
Yeah. Did you like Nettle's story in the book?
I did.
Yeah.
Did.
I've never
I
heard
felt
good things.
she needed more depth. Like it needed. It would have been nice to see it filled in like this, like the show has been doing.
Yeah.
Because some of her stuff is like, okay, this sounds really cool. I just don't know why, or you don't know anything about her or her motives at all.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. I will say just one other comparison, like as I'm reading through Stormlight right now, and how like it feels like there's a bigger conflict we're building to, but it's taking so long compared to what I've read in some of the things like Mistborn or whatever. It's such an epic that it's taking me a little bit of time that I'm like, oh, this is slower in plotting, but then there's good things that are happening through it. Whereas like I'm looking at this and it's a visual medium and everything, but it's going to me faster than Stormlight is. I don't know. So, which I'm still enjoying. I'm just saying, like it doesn't feel like it's that slow and pointless.
I got him, Jacob. Physical copies, baby. Your CD's in there.
Yeah.
I'll have to mail you one. I have your address. I already know it. Good evening. Yeah. I don't know if there's anything else specific to say about the finale other than, yeah, I get it.
Like I said, it's good stuff. It's really good stuff. But I just felt like
you felt.
I wish
a
there was
little betrayed.
something more for this season overall.
I can almost get it, but I don't
enjoyed
even know
the
if I
whole
can go as far as I get it. I'm like, I've been having a ton of fun with it. Again, I'm also not a book reader, so I don't know what the story is supposed to come to. But like, yeah, I thought it was a fine, just great time in Westeros.
Yeah,
I mean, great. Yeah.
So compared to Game of Thrones, I
They
think
gave
the
you a
numbers.
snippet of Otto Hightower.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he's been chained up this whole time. Okay, that's.
You're like, oh,
I don't know why. I don't know why he's in prison.
It took me a minute to figure out what was going on with that. Where I'm like, who is? Oh, that's okay. Like it was such a quick.
I don't remember any plot line like that in the books, but
yeah, I do feel like because I think he actually stayed at King's Landing in the book. Is what I've heard from some of the other discussions I've heard around. So yeah, he totally a new thing there.
Yeah. All right, how does the viewership stack up?
so Game of Thrones peaked at season 8, the finale, the series finale was almost 20 million viewers. And House of the Dragon peaked season 1, episode 2 at half of that.
That's a weird place for it to have peaked.
Season 1, episode 2.
Just in general, the second episode is the peak of House of Dragon. It hasn't gone up since then. I mean,
it hasn't really dropped that much though. Like
yeah,
it's
that
been pretty steadily around 9 million this whole time.
Yeah.
It started at 10, got a little bit higher then, and kind of dropped just a little bit. But typically you'll see growth like between seasons and not so much like between. Well, it depends on the show.
Well, and you'll see probably like a dip. Like it starts out high, dips a little bit, and comes out back up for the finales.
Right. But yeah, it ended just a little bit lower than how it started.
Interesting.
The watch hours kept going up.
Have views for season 2 yet, though?
And these are like the overnight views, right? So it's not like it gained more concurrently, right? Because it was gaining viewers every week. But if you look back to Game of Thrones, like it ended really high, but it took a long time to get there.
Yeah.
It's this is the average So this is not the episode by episode. This is like after
for the season.
So this includes like the weekly streams, at people catching up afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
The average was 10 million. And I don't think they have the numbers for House of the Dragon yet, how this season averaged. But the first season averaged 30 million.
Yeah, almost 30.
Oh, wow.
Which is...
It's higher than Game of Thrones.
It's right here.
Right in there.
It's doing...
Yeah.
You know, it's doing in between season 6 and 7 performance-wise.
Wow.
That's pretty darn good, I think.
For season 1.
Yeah.
So yeah, they gave it a season 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, technically it's not as popular as Game of Thrones. Yeah.
Season 8.
Game of Thrones was also kind of a fluke, like a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's ever going to happen again.
I really do feel
just
like
I don't, but hey, I hope stuff like that does. Like, I hope we get another Lord of the Rings trilogy, but it does kind of feel like a flash in the pan, like blink and you miss it. Oh, I guess we just don't like making good movies anymore.
Yeah. I think the closest we've come to that for movies is Dune. Dune's been...
But even that, like as well received as it was, it didn't make a ton of money. So it wasn't
critically well received. Yeah, it didn't really make a whole bunch of money.
And even for the viewers that saw it, it was well received. It's just it wasn't a huge smash box office.
Hey, Pulp, thanks for tuning in, man. I had a really fun conversation about Hyperion on Friday.
Nice. I saw your video for that. I haven't watched
it was good. It was a good conversation, but don't watch it unless you've read the book, man. I loved it. I loved Hyperion. I think it's the best book I've read this year. So
nice.
Anything else? Let's see. The final episode, the finale, hit 9 million viewers. So like, it's not really dropping.
Yeah,
it's staying pretty steadily at 9.
It's one of those things where it's like you want it to grow, so it's kind of disappointing that it's not growing, but it's not dropping either. So that's not bad.
It hasn't ever passed episode 2 from season 1. But
I also wonder how much of that, because like you said, this is like the same night, that nightly.
These are the overnight viewers,
and we are now like, I mean,
I'm waiting for them to release the average.
Yeah,
for season 2.
We're I think we're getting to the like we don't have to watch it at midnight. Like
it's really hard to find this data. I wish people would. I mean, HBO has been pretty open-handed with their books, but then you get people like Lord of the Rings who say 1 billion people, 100 billion people watched episode 1.
Yeah,
100 people watched.
Yeah.
But so again, because like for me, a lot of times I would wait to watch it until later in the week so that it was more fresh in my head before our show here. Since
here's what they claimed.
The same night,
They claimed for episode 1 it was 25 million. So a little, so yeah, more than the season finale or the series finale of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that's definitely not going to be there overnight. Then no way.
This is the average number. It was
19 points.
The numbers are difficult. 19. Here we go. That's what it was.
Yep.
So their number for episode 1 was
they're claiming
25 million, which is also a lie because how many episodes did they release?
At least 2, or was it 3?
Yeah, they're counting all those.
Yeah.
These are the viewers on day 1, not episode 1.
So divide that number by 3.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah. And only 35% of people finished. So even if you take this number, divide by 3, and then
they had the 40%,
and then divide by 3 again, then you'll get the number of people who finished watching this show.
I'll even give them, because they have that 100 million that watched the show. Period. Okay, still 37% of that is 37 million that even finished it. Like, yeah, and a good chunk of those are people like us that we're gonna watch it whether or not we like it. Finishing it does not mean we like it. there's a chunk that will stop. But yeah.
Yeah. Can't wait for season 2, baby. Insiders claimed the completion rate was higher. Okay, then show us the numbers. You lying
how they're
pig.
still saying solid but not spectacular.
Yeah,
that's very much them trying to be like, let's see how best to phrase this and how best to frame it. Let's put the positive view on it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
can't blame them. That's what they're doing. But yeah,
you're not gonna let me forget that, huh? I mentioned my bad high school movies, and now some people want to watch them.
I have them on my hard drive.
Oh dear. Do you have The Partner's Tale?
I don't.
Or do you just have The Great Gatsby?
I think I just have The Great Gatsby. I don't remember.
I need to see if I can dig up my.
You can, if you have my senior thesis, you can go ahead and burn that. That was pretty bad.
No, he did a report on The Great Gatsby, and he has a musical number doing James.
Look, I thought it was a really funny joke in high school. Okay, I needed to give an excuse for why The Great Gatsby isn't paying attention to the road and runs over Daisy. So I had my video, instead of writing a report, I made a video, and the reason why he's distracted is because the movie turns into a music video.
Yeah.
For him singing to his lover. And we got the Mexican on, the happy Mexican.
Oh, he's so happy.
You're going to have to completely rebrand your whole channel, man. Way to
I mean,
fix your mental health, man.
I still get pumped up, I'm still passionate, I guess. So not really. Maybe when I get buff, I don't have to change my channel name. Yeah, I don't have my camera on because I had an issue with my microphone. Like, I just realized that I had an issue always with my microphone.
Yeah.
But now I don't have it because I'm using the same USB-C from my camera on my interface, and that's supposed to work. But I now had to get a new one for my camera, so it's a mess.
I feel like we could set some kind of goal to release the Gatsby footage. Like, I mean, Mark Clark's not very good at keeping promises, but maybe if he reads an entire book series in order, then we'll release the Gatsby cut.
Release the Gatsby cut.
Yeah.
Let's start a hashtag. Release the Gatsby cut. It's so crazy. Like, I will probably die of embarrassment. It's not good.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
I'm wearing am I wearing a pink suit or a yellow suit in that one? I had both.
I think it's like a cream yellow.
Is it my yellow suit for the Great Gatsby? Yeah.
Oh.
I still have that somewhere. It wasn't mine. I was holding it for a friend, and he didn't want it back, so it became mine. But I had a banana yellow. No, it was like a cream yellow.
Yeah.
I had a yellow suit. Okay.
What a classic excuse! It wasn't mine. It was for a friend.
I never told you that. So the music video is for James Blunt's "You're Beautiful," right?
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, we talked about it on the stream.
Oh, gotcha.
Because Hyperion is Canterbury Tales in space.
Yes.
And so my videos came up.
Yeah. I had planned. I made shot for shot list of I was going to do a parody of your video and
oh no.
Yeah, I was going to do Weird Al's "You're Pitiful," but directly spoof your video in there.
Oh no.
But I never made it.
Oh dear. Anyway, anything else to say about Hot D? We're
not really
not going to talk about it for another 2 years. They haven't started filming season 3.
That drives me crazy. I mean,
I get that, like, the writer's strike affected that, but
a little bit.
Man, to do that two seasons in a row, that's brutal.
Yeah,
like that's the reason the numbers aren't going up between seasons.
Well, and that's the thing. I get you're not going to do the exact that's higher production value. It's bigger stuff, and you're trying to maybe not be as like.
But they made it work for Game of Thrones.
Yeah, what I'm saying is,
especially after they know they're
Game of Thrones or old classic, network TV. You've got, you want to probably push people a little bit less than you did back in those, network TV with 26, 28,
Right.
30 episodes a season every single year. And you do have higher production values, but you also have a lot fewer episodes, like maybe a quarter of the episodes.
Yeah.
And it's like, how can you not?
Well, and then the other thing too is they just got approved for season 3 and 4, which is why they didn't have the battle in the season. So why wait? I don't understand.
Yeah, I think that the television people are starting to realize that as much as it was fun to play around with things like streaming, like binging streaming and things like that, that really there's a lot about the way that things were back in those 90s or whatever, about the way we consumed our media that really worked. And now that we're not getting it that way, we're having years in between our seasons coming out. And this is not a problem with just House of the Dragon or HBO or years between most seasons of streaming television, way shorter seasons. Like there's a couple things that you could tweak and adjust to make it better than what things were back in the network days, where there were sometimes lots of filler episodes. But you could come down to like 12, 15 episodes, whatever, and still have higher production values. Still turn around every year having 15.
Filming for season 3 isn't going to start until 2025.
Oh no!
They're not starting it this year.
Wow.
Mex's X handle. It's what is your X handle? I know what your I know what your name is when you DM me. But that's
I thought you were going to say you knew what his triple X handle was, but
it's Chimmy. Is it? No, it's okay. It's the Angry Mexa. When we first met, his name was not Juan, and now it's been changed to Chimichanga. But the handle is the Angry Mexa.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's crazy. I mean, they do have the Hedge Knight series to ease the gap, right?
Yeah,
and that's coming out next year.
Yeah, and if you're going to do that, that one's an okay situation for me, where it's like, even if it's a different show, like if you have from the same universe, same creators or whatever, you're going between. Okay,
yeah, they're going for full cinematic universe. They have 4 other shows in development too.
You should be able to have,
and these are different from the ones that they started development and then canceled, and because everyone was pissed about it, like, don't do that, and they're like, okay, we won't do that.
But you should be able to have a season a year, like especially with these short, like 8, even if it was a 12, 15, whatever, like 8 episodes.
Yeah, Severance,
freaking 8 episodes once a year. Come on.
Yeah,
Severance is another perfect example of that.
Severance has been like 3 years between seasons.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard amazing things. I need to catch up to it at some point.
Yeah, Jared. So Jared, other Jared, isn't making the stream tonight, but I gotta tell you, he's he's been watching a lot of Apple TV. Because we all have the same account, so we can see what everyone's watching. But we don't know who's doing the watching. So I'm like, I wonder who's been watching all these shows. Jared has watched all of Dark Matter, all of Silo, and he's almost done watching all of Ted Lasso, which is 3 seasons.
So do they not allow you to have like separate accounts? I haven't gotten into it myself yet.
You can connect if only one of you is paying for TV. If you all have different Apple IDs and you're all like part of the same like family, you can do that. But I don't like Apple enough to figure out how to do that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
My wife's got Apple devices, so I might be able to figure something out with that. But
I agree, Mark. Dark Matter was good. I haven't started Silo, but I've heard it's really good. I will contend Ted Lasso seasons 1 and 2 are fantastic. I hated season 3. Absolutely hated it. And it's because Jason Sudeikis' wife publicly cheated on him. Friggin' Olivia Wilde sent him into a depressive spiral, And so he didn't write season 3.
Wow.
What's the one? I think it's on Apple TV that's got Harrison Ford in it. It's not Severance, is it?
Shrinking?
Shrinking. I've heard really good things about that one. That's another one that I want to
Harrison
check out.
Ford and it's not Jason Sudeikis. It's Jason, not Momoa.
How I Met Your Mother dude, right?
Yeah. Seagull. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was really interested in.
No, there's actually a lot because I haven't touched Apple TV other than Severance. I did watch. I didn't have Apple TV when I did it. Okay, I had to check it out because everyone was saying it was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're finally dipping our toes into Apple TV. There's a whole bunch of movies that I forgot existed. That was like, oh, I was planning on watching that, but I didn't see it pop up anywhere. Oh, because it's been on Apple TV. It's an Apple original. So there's some good stuff that I'm excited to check out. I watched
mixed things about C, and it was For All Mankind was the other one that I thought the concept looked really cool.
There's like three whole seasons of that people are saying is pretty good.
There's lots I want to see, but there's a ton of other things that I just haven't caught up on that I want to see too. So.
A good recommendation. I watched The Instigators, which is one of their new movies. It's Matt Damon and his friend's brother. I always forget his name. It's Good Will Hunting. It's Matt Damon and what's his face?
Affleck?
Ben Affleck. Casey Affleck. So Good Will Hunting is Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. The Instigators is Matt Damon and Casey Affleck. It was hilarious. So it's a buddy movie, but they're not cops. They're criminals, and it's a comedy of errors where something goes wrong and it just keeps getting spiraling and getting worse and worse, and they're just trying to get out.
I love shows like that.
And I was laughing so hard. The dialogue is hilarious. It was just good, solid comedy of these two just idiots, just bumbling and bantering between each other, and even like there's a third party that gets involved that was shockingly funny. I didn't think I was going to like her character at all, and she was hilarious. It's not like serious. There's some things where you're like, okay, that's a little silly, but I was laughing the whole time, and I loved the ending was great. They actually had some twists and turns, and they were like, oh, that's not where I thought we were going with this. But
I saw some commercials for it a trailer for it while I was watching something else.
I've heard good things about Tulsa King as well. They I did. I think I watched season 1. I did. That's Stallone, right?
Yeah, was that?
It's selling. It's Stallone selling weed. That one's Paramount Plus because that's another Taylor Sheridan.
Sheridan, yeah.
Because he's writing like 13 shows simultaneously, and he won't finish Yellowstone.
Was Yellowstone the one that had Kevin Costner in it? There was a whole
Kevin
drama
Costner
with
in it, yeah.
Okay, that's probably at least a part of what's going on there. I don't know.
I actually know one of the actors in Yellowstone. Nice. I used to do improv with him. He wasn't one of the guys that kicked me out. He stopped going a while because he's gotten work, right? Like he's kind of better than anyone else there. But yeah, the actor the guy who plays is it Beth, the sister in Yellowstone?
I know that's a name in Yellowstone.
She has an assistant guy who she bosses around. That's my friend. He's a cool guy.
Nice.
He's a super cool guy. And he dies pretty brutally.
Yeah, I heard pretty good things about Tulsa King. It seems kind of like an odd choice though.
Yes, my friend is Kevin Costner.
Yeah. Yes. Anyway,
first name basis. I call him Kev. He's on my speed dial.
Did improv with him.
Improv with Kevin Costner.
That would be a good sketch. Kevin Costner doing improv. Did anyone? No one saw Horizon, right? No one's going to.
I wanted to. I just was not getting anywhere.
It's like 5 hours long. I don't want to see that.
Crazy long. Yeah. Well, it was supposed to be like they were going to have the part 2 come out like a month later.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, nobody went to see it. Maybe we should wait till we can get it on.
It's supposed to have like 5 parts.
Well, yeah, in the end, it's supposed to have 5, but he filmed the first 2 parts, and part 2 was supposed to come out a month later.
I didn't know
it was all done.
I didn't think he'd already filmed part 2. That's
he
committing.
He filmed part 2, and it was supposed to come out a month later. But then, with how few people went to see it, they were like, "Well, maybe we should wait to put it on streaming so that some other people can see part 1, because no one's going to go see part 2 that hasn't seen part 1."
Yeah.
And if it even makes it to theaters, is going to be
I remember that. I don't remember what the joke was, but I remember seeing that and liking it.
I've heard.
And I can't remember.
I've heard about it.
I can't remember what the bit was, but like what the button was. But good news. We're getting more. We're getting more Orville. Hopefully, it's like it's confirmed but not confirmed. The actor has been running his mouth, but still no like official announcement. So, heck freaking yes.
Yeah.
I will be so happy to see that come back.
I love this show, man. I'm like ready to rewatch all 3 seasons. It was so funny.
Yeah.
So good.
Season 4.
Really fantastic.
Well, we know Seth MacFarlane has been pushing for it. So, like, if they will let him, he will keep making the Orville.
I was going to say, I can't get why anyone would not be saying, yes, go ahead. If you want to do it, go ahead.
I'm pretty sure he said, like, this is my baby. Like, I love this more than Family Guy. Like this is my magnum opus.
Widely loved, pretty darn successful. Like, why is nobody else sitting there saying, oh, you want to do this? Yes, here, have all the money, whatever. Make it happen.
That's a bold take, Mark. Yeah, that's a good Western, but there are other good Westerns. You got to watch the Trinity trilogy.
Oh yes, that's a deep cut though.
Ooh, no one knows about those movies. Those movies are hilarious. The first one is called Nobody Is My Name. And then They Call Me Trinity, and then what's the third one called?
Trinity is
Still My Name.
Yeah.
Oh baby, so funny. It's basically completely ripping off the 3.
No Name, Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, it's ripping off the
$4. Man with No Name.
Is it called the Dollars trilogy though?
I think so. Dollars.
Yeah.
Dollars I think it's the Dollars trilogy, but I've heard it the Man with No Name trilogy. I don't know.
Yeah, it's ripping off those 3 movies. Oh my gosh, it is so funny. David, have you seen Nobody Is My Name, David? Because we'd seen 2 and 3 like 100 times.
Yeah, I never saw the first one. It is hard to find.
It's my favorite one. It's so
really?
good. Number 1 is so good. Sergio Leone. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. There's a. Okay, like I'm gonna ruin one of the jokes because there. Even if you want to, like, it's hard to find these movies.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a scene where the main character, who's the guy with no name, except that they give him a name in the second movie.
Yeah.
It was just part of the joke. He's bathing in the river, and someone comes up to mug him, right? And no. That's in a different part. So what happens is he's getting a shave, and people start like robbing this town, but they don't notice him because he was like inside the building. So he comes up behind somebody and like sticks his gun up their butt because he was like underneath them. Okay, I forget how the staging works, but he sticks his gun up the bad guy's batoot, and he's like, "That's a pistol, right?" And he's like, "You can walk away," and you can, and so it's kind of like the whole like, "Do you feel lucky, punk?" scene, where he's like, I don't know if that's a pistol or if that's not a pistol, but like, are you gonna risk it? You know, like, and then it mirrors the scene at the end of the movie, but he doesn't have a gun, and so he shoves his 2 fingers.
Oh no! Oh no!
It's so good. It's such a good movie.
So I'm looking at. So this is the Terrence Hill Trinity trilogy. But
Yeah.
I'm looking it up. I see a 4th movie.
What?
Yeah, it's called Revenge of Trinity.
Okay, I'm watching that tonight.
One of the there's a box set with 3 movies in it. It doesn't have Nobody Is My Name, but it's got Revenge of Trinity on it.
Dude, Nobody's My Name is my favorite one.
Yeah.
It's a lot slower than the other 2. But it's so funny.
It was good. Another good funny one, if you like funny westerns, is Support Your Local Sheriff.
Oh, support your
That one's fantastic.
Support Your Local Sheriff is
watching that one.
really
it's been a long
good.
Time, I remember, but
There's another one, Support Your Local Gunfighter. That one's all right, but Support Your Local
Yeah.
Sheriff is.
It was a decent sequel that just didn't get as never got as high.
Hill and Bud Spencer, The Trinity Collection. What is that? That's 6 movies in it.
Oh man, I gotta do deep dive now. Anyway,
Can't.
Oh yeah,
there are other good westerns though. There are good like real westerns.
Yeah, I've been meaning to watch more.
Sorry, Mexa, what are you trying to say? What?
Oh, I was finally able to use the Apple TV right now. I was setting it up.
Nice.
It sent me to America, like, so I get all the American content. I get,
ooh.
I get the good stuff now. You know,
Nice.
I don't
Yeah.
get the Spanish Mexican dubs. Yeah.
Mine doesn't work on Chrome, by the way. I have to use a different browser. Like the buttons just don't push.
Weird.
Oh.
But
Yeah, Mark, I used to be right there with you. I didn't used to like westerns, and then I saw some good ones, and I kind of like them now. I need to go back and watch some of the classics by John Wayne, Clint Eastwood, and that sort of thing. But
310 to Yuma is great.
that one's a good one, yeah.
If you don't like westerns, watch Unforgiven.
That's one I classically hear as being like the greatest.
That it's like a subversion of it's a western, but it's also trying to like subvert western tropes. It's phenomenal. It's real good. You've seen it? Okay. I love that one. Also, if you want a super campy western, that it's not a comedy, but it's like way over the top. What's his face? The Quick and the Dead. I was literally bringing up The Quick and the Dead. It's Sam Raimi. It's Sam Raimi doing a western, and it's just nuts. It's gore. It's like over the top gory, just ridiculous fun. That one's a good flick.
Yeah.
You shot an unarmed man. He should have shot himself. He should have armed himself. Anyway, so we're getting Orville season 4. On the Borderlands news, the reason why I'm definitely not watching this one is because Jamie Lee Curtis is a horrible person. Did you guys see this? Okay. Read this without breaking down, David.
You want me to read it?
Yeah.
In here. Jamie Lee Curtis asks crew to wear name tags on set because she wants them to be equal to the actors. Okay, I just want it to be equitable because it's an important thing. Tis art. Tis art. There isn't a hierarchy in it. It's supposed to be a group of people.
Sorry, let me translate this.
Or
Jamie Lee Curtis is too lazy to learn everyone's name, so she makes them wear name tags because she couldn't be bothered.
Yeah. I was going to say, having...
How does that...
Name tag isn't...
Stupidity aside, how does that make them equal?
That's what I'm saying. Right.
To me, this by itself doesn't make it sound terrible, but that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
What is that even? I don't even know what she was going for. I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt, and I can't figure it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's lost on me.
Well, she also transitioned her child, so screw her. The Acolyte is... After The Acolyte, Star Wars is reviving its most successful formula.
Yeah.
You mean by completely ignoring the formula? What are they...
I'm curious as to what they're thinking.
This article is freaking hilarious, and it came out. I'm pretty sure it came out before. I'm giving the benefit of the doubt that it came out before the trailer, right?
What's the successful formula?
Successful formula.
The successful formula is expanding representation and appealing to a broader audience.
Yeah.
Focusing on children characters. This is a kids show, by the way.
Childlike sense of wonder. I mean, yeah.
This is a kids show. It's a Star Wars kids show.
Yeah. And then the last one.
It's not going to center around Jedi because that's the formula that's always been successful.
Yeah. They're comparing it to Andor. Said Andor is the most critically rated of all of the TV shows, aside from Mandalorian.
Okay, that's not a formula. That's a fluke.
Yeah. But yeah, they're saying because Mandalorian.
If you want the successful formula, I don't know, maybe follow the successful movies.
Exactly. Yeah, but no, they're saying that Mandalorian and Andor didn't focus on the Jedi, right? They focused on some unknown characters that we didn't know before, and of course they've strayed from that quite a bit. But yeah, there you go. But I think it's hilarious that they're like, oh, this
it works for me, baby.
It's going to work because we're not going to focus on the Jedi. It's going to be a story apart from that. Jared, have you watched the latest trailer that they released?
I saw very accelerated. I haven't seen it.
I know it has a Jedi in it.
Yeah, there's a Jedi in it. They go to literally the opening scene is they open a hole and they're like, oh, it's a Jedi temple that's been.
And then it ends with you're a Jedi.
Yeah.
I was confused because I didn't realize that the kids weren't Jedi. I got the impression that today's test because they were in the Jedi.
Of course one of them's gonna be Force sensitive.
Oh, I'm sure they will be. But I expected that to be going into it, you knew that they were all in the Jedi Academy of some sort or another. I forgot that this was in the Mandalorian time frame. So I was like, oh, I thought this was back in the High Republic stuff. I had lost, I guess, the plot on what this is supposed to be.
This comes out the first week of December, by the way.
One of their problems is that they keep jumping around from time plot,
which
different
you
time
can do,
points, and they're not.
You can do, but I think it'd be smarter if you had better distinctions between those jumps, because when it opened up, I was looking at it and it immediately made me think, oh, this looks like what we saw on Coruscant of Acolyte, so maybe this is in the High Republic. So if they made some better distinction of the visual stuff. And again, I know that as you look at some of the technology hasn't changed in Star Wars in a millennia or whatever. Sure, but you can still have some visual cues that are different. And there are subtle ones, but it's not as good as it could be, especially if you're jumping back and forth. I don't know. I'm still interested, but yeah.
Star Wars could use more adventure.
I'm not expecting this to fix everyone's problems.
Are they admitting that it's just been terrible?
They kind of are without saying that. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't care. That Outlaws looks terrible too. I've seen a couple.
Oh, the video game.
Yeah.
Yeah, the game that looks like it's
really bad.
The entire game is an escort mission. Yeah. I think someone put it best. You remember those Mary Jane segments from the Spider-Man video game that everyone hated? Yeah, we made that the whole game.
Yeah.
We got a release date for Arcane Season 2.
Ooh.
We got a release month.
Oh, I didn't see that.
November.
That's another one that, at the very least, I can understand a little bit more of the from season 1 to season 2.
Because it's the most complicated animation we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I sure hope though.
And it's just a passion project. They don't care if they make money.
Yeah. Well, did they get greenlit for a season 2 and 3, or are they just greenlit for season 2?
I don't think they need to be greenlit. It's literally just Riot Games making it.
for the
that like whatever greenlit means. Like
it'd be more that it'd be
Netflix is just the distributor. Netflix is just the distributor.
Okay, but yeah, I mean that one I can understand a little bit better. I mean, like, what was it? Invincible kind of bugged me that it took so long in between seasons. Like,
and there is no explanation for that gap either.
Yeah. But
yeah,
oddly enough,
Arcane has an explanation
to me. Yeah, sure. I mean, I'd love to have it made more often, but yeah.
It's included on Prime? Okay, I'm watching that tonight. It's so
good. My Name is Nobody is
so
included on Prime.
Dude,
nice.
It's such a funny movie. It's so funny. I love it.
I feel like I'll probably want to actually go because I haven't seen the Dollars trilogy. I haven't seen those ones. It might be more fun if I go and watch those ones first. So
I mean, it's just Western.
I'm sure it'll still be fun.
It's not directly lampooning those movies, but it's lampooning the Western tropes that are very prevalent in those movies.
But it'd be like trying to watch Spaceballs without having watched Star Wars or Star Trek. Like,
release the Gatsby cut.
Funny movie. Like,
because Spaceballs is directly ripping off Star Wars. It has.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a lot of Star Trek.
I figured out what Mark Clark was trying to do on Twitter. He's tweeted out, "Release the Gatsby cut." Oh no.
Oh boy.
Oh. You nuts. Okay. This is great. Want to see the greatest thing in the world? Let's full screen this baby. Is there sound? Okay, I'm not
hearing anything.
I know, because I'm gonna sound it because you got to see it. So, the Robert Downey Jr. announcement. We talked about that, right?
Yeah, the Comic-Con.
Yeah, he's going to play Doctor Doom. They just made another announcement. Robert Downey Jr. is also going to be playing Black Panther.
It is your time to be king.
It's too good. It's too good.
I heard tons of jokes about with Doom, where it's like he's not actually going to be Doom. He's just going to be the guy playing another guy.
Yeah.
Oof.
Man, It's
good too.
It's pretty good with that thing. Made it look like the Tropic Thunder version.
That's not bad. Yeah.
When he's moving, it shifts around too much. I love it.
That is an interesting look. I gotta say,
that's good.
It's too good.
Have you seen that guy that's been doing those deep fake reviews of shows and things? He did a lot. He did them all for Acolyte and pointed out how ridiculous they are. It's pretty good.
No, I've seen the guy. I've seen the guy that's doing
and Anakin.
Yeah. He does Qui-Gon.
Oh yes,
I've seen that way back in like Obi-Wan, like back when Kenobi was coming out, and
Justin Hancock or something is his name.
I haven't watched a ton of him.
I don't think it's Justin Hancock.
It's some name like that.
No, I have seen those. I thought you were talking about the guy that does the AI videos where he'll do Lord of the Rings, but in a different director style, you know.
Yeah.
Like the Wes Anderson does Lord of the Rings, which is hilarious. I think you sent me this one, David. The 10 most hated heroes in the MCU ranked.
Oh, hold on, let me get back.
I have never read this.
Walker's.
Oh, yes, I sent you that.
Number 10.
I don't remember why I think they had some good.
Okay, let's go through it. John Walker did nothing wrong, and Falcon's treatment of him is completely unjustified.
I mean, I still think he did some kind of dumb stuff.
He killed terrorists, dude.
Yes,
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
He literally comes up to him and is like, "Hey, I've been given this job. I don't know what to do. I'd appreciate some help."
Yeah,
and Falcon is a dick to him.
On that one, I completely agree. On that, I agree that he tried, but yeah, he lost control when he killed terrorists in that situation. So even though I can't necessarily get mad at killing terrorists in a general sense, he lost control, and
They were
didn't
still
allow
in
him
the
to
middle
surrender.
of a fight. Like,
Yeah.
they're terrorists. I don't care.
Again, I'm not arguing that they're terrorists, but
Peter Quill?
Yeah, I don't know what.
Because he's responsible for losing the because he jumped on Thanos and started punching him.
Yeah,
is that it?
Okay,
Still,
I suppose.
I wouldn't say his character's hated. I'd say that choice is hated.
Like, there are people who dislike Chris Pratt because I don't know, whatever, and he's in everything right now, so fine.
I don't hate the character. I hate the producers who rushed this show and didn't let him practice his choreography, because this show could have been great.
Yeah.
I actually mostly enjoyed it, but I agree.
They were showing him choreography the day they were filming it. He had minutes to prepare it, but yes.
Yeah. This was
awful.
I think the actor's great
fault.
too. Like, I think he's a good actor. This show was what a disappointment. Sure. I didn't hate him. It's not his fault. Yeah, okay, agree. Yes. Okay. I agree.
That's also
doesn't deserve to be that high up on it, but I mean, really?
Cord is freaking a well-loved character, is he not?
Yeah. I mean, Taika's got his own issues, but
I would argue he was one of the best parts of Love and Thunder, specifically.
Okay, yeah. Again, for me, it's just Love and Thunder.
Yeah. I don't hate the character. I hate the movie.
Not Korg.
Hank Pym.
I guess in Quantumania specifically, so it looks like they're referencing the specific movie that he's in that they hate him for, I guess. I guess kinda, but
they wanted to kill him off. Is it because he's white? What's the deal?
I think it's because he was letting his granddaughter play around with the quantum realm or something like that. They felt like he was really.
It's because of his performance.
Really?
He did. Well, they're saying, look, Douglas was tired of the material when he returned,
and it's not
because wait, because his character served no purpose. That's on the writers, bro.
And also, it's not that he served no purpose; it's that he became a Deus Ex Machina for the thing. So, like, he kind of just wasn't doing anything, and then he became a Deus Ex Machina, bringing in the answer, whatever. Sure.
Yeah.
It's like, whatever.
Yeah, if I was in that movie, I would want to be off as well. Okay, that's not his fault. No.
Yeah.
Edward Norton Hulk.
Version of the Hulk.
Edward Norton Hulk is so much better than Mark Ruffalo. I can't even compare these people.
Yeah.
This list should just be the cast of the Eternal. Yeah. Okay. She was awful.
Again, character was wasted. I was surprised that they put that there, but again,
that's the number one hated character. Like, Captain Marvel's not on this list.
Yeah, right.
She didn't even make the top 10.
Specifically, though, they said Thor: The Dark World,
where she has even less to do than
I get. We clowned on this movie when it came out. I would watch Thor: The Dark World 100 times, 100 times before I rewatch the Marvels.
Yeah.
Moving on. Do we want to get into this? Okay, here's my politics segment. This was, I thought this was an interesting post. This wrestler was disqualified for being slightly overweight, and to visualize this is how much she was overweight by.
Oh gosh.
But like, a penis isn't disqualifying, I guess.
Yeah.
Moving on.
The one thing that I will say is that one's also very established at what you're supposed to be at. It sucks that it's that minute, but
yeah, I get it. You gotta have if you don't have a limit, people will abuse it. Sure. It's just funny that we're obsessed over a mandarin orange and not a schlong.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch my short of this one?
To be fair, I did. To be fair, that's probably how much it weighs. Just saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, that rings of power. that interview and did you see the GW photo shoot? Or
Yeah, I got it pulled up. So Rings of Power, Jared, you haven't seen this. This is a real thing that someone filmed and then decided to post.
And I actually give him a little nugget.
Not a poo, the mithril.
Poo? When do you call it poo?
Keep going, the camera's rolling.
And I actually...
so terrible.
That's just a weird
So
what?
good. It's so good.
If she got circumcised, she could have made weight.
Yep.
It's good. It was a different. That wasn't the same one. But yeah, good joke. My favorite part about it, it's retarded, right? This is just the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But my favorite part is that she throws him off the rails and then gets mad at him.
Oh, get back on.
Yeah.
I could see that being just playing into the joke of it to get mad at him to get back on the rails, but it was she that completely took him off the rails. So,
These people.
Yeah.
Everyone's comparing the big cast photo to like the cast photo from the trilogy. Let me see if I can bring that up. Actually, maybe it's in a...
Did you see just the photos, or did you see the animated?
I got it. I just realized I need to bring something else up, though. Okay.
That's pretty cringe.
Let me pull up the original.
When I first saw it, I thought it was going to be like a Morford Clark starring in some sort of fragrance ad or something like that. I'm like, oh no, this is actual promotion for the show. This is really bad.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Okay. I got that. Let's do that, and let's do that, and then let's do. Okay. Okay. I got it pulled up. There's been some new casting announcements with pictures. We've got.
Is that
This?
a Harfoot or
No? It's not a Harfoot. It's a Stoor.
a what?
Why is that woman?
one or the other.
Oh,
So
One of
the
the other kinds of
hobbits
hobbits.
are descendants of three different races: the Harfoots, the Stoors, and the Neanderthals. Can I buy my Mark? No, you have to watch Top Gun Maverick. It's so good. Thanks for the $1.99.
You don't want to enjoy a movie, whatever, but like, oh my gosh.
I watched all of the Acolyte for you. Also, she looks regular human sized.
Yeah.
Like all of them
Yeah.
do. Why do they all have the dumbest hair?
They have like the torso is really short to make him look like
Yeah.
short and stubby, but the legs.
But their legs are extra long.
To me, the costume just looks very like you were talking about before. All of the costume looks just so not lived in,
Never been
not-
worn once.
Yeah.
For like a nomadic group, especially.
Yeah.
And then when they try and dirty them up, they go way too hard.
And that's just his hair. Like his outfit is still kind of
The outfit is still crisp. You can see the seams. You can see the
It's almost a little bit better because it's like a little like knit Afghan looking shawl thing that he's got on there, but it still looks very clean.
Are these like the Mexican hobbies? Like, why is this like a
They're the Stoors.
saddle or something like
Rufio.
Nice.
Dude, that guy like didn't do any acting after that movie, right? I love Rufio.
Sort of, but what he did do?
Oh,
is he did
he got in big trouble,
Zuko.
didn't he? He did
He's
what?
Zuko. He's the voice of Zuko.
Oh, okay, no.
Rufio is the voice of Zuko.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Zuko here.
I did a handful of different things, but yeah, I don't think he's done a ton.
I've seen that. Okay. Yep. I'm not gonna read that one out loud. I'm just. Ugh. I don't know what these people are doing. So then this was the one that you were talking about. This isn't the whole cast. Okay, this is
just her bit and.
I'm not going to play the music because I think this has been replaced. Someone made it funnier, you know. But I gotta mute it for myself.
And now we're going not blonde.
That looks like a perfume commercial, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, I think someone replaced it with the music for The Young and the Restless.
And then there's Sauron stalking him in the tree.
He's in bell bottoms too. Like
it's so stupid. Oh my god!
What are these? What? I mean, even ignoring the bell bottoms. Look at his jacket with the zipper
and his like weird leather patches. Yeah.
And why is she not blonde? What happened there? What?
I don't know. She's not blonde anymore.
She's. Oh, it's turning dark, and therefore her hair's gonna go. What?
Well, because this is a cat, so this isn't her in character. This is not them in character. This is them just doing a photo shoot in like glam.
Oh, okay. That's fine enough then. I mean, the outfits are the normal. I'm glad to hear that this is not supposed to be them in character, because if this was supposed to be them in character, I'm like, I know they've had dumb outfits on this show.
No, this is entertainment dressing. This is Entertainment Weekly dressing them up and doing a photo shoot. They're not
make it any better
in character.
Oh, gosh.
But it feels like they are in character because this isn't much better than what we got in the show. Okay,
it feels like they were supposed to be in character, and like except also maybe it's.
They did one with the whole cast, okay, and it's worse. I'm not playing the music to this.
She looks older.
As outside of like not supposed to be in character stuff, I don't find their outfits are whatever. But
except this is like her dress from the show though.
Is unless what she was in the interview was not her dress from the show, but why is
it's
she
confusing, right? It's like it feels like these are from the show, but then you're like, oh wait, no, this is just like I hate fashion. Can I like modern fashion is pure garbage. Do you know who that is? Who is that?
I don't know.
Oh, is that the Harfoot one?
Yeah, it's the lesbian hobbit.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, they confirmed we've already seen LGBTP characters in season 1.
Okay.
It's gonna be lesbian hobbits. Yeah. So, yeah, that's the Hobbit. Harfoot. Sorry, we're not legally allowed to use the word Hobbit. Why? It's like so slow too. This is the most painful. Like,
might depend a little bit on the music that you've got playing with it. That might make it.
No, it doesn't make it. It does. It doesn't help. It makes it worse.
I'm just saying, you
get ready.
Could make it.
This is the worst one. This is the worst outfit.
Yeah, it's so bad.
It's like he's got a bolo tie on too. Like,
okay, realizing this is like real world fashion instead of their
no. Sorry, this is not real world fashion, man.
No, but that's the thing. It is real world fashion. You know, fine. I don't hate some of them. I don't hate.
Brooding. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh baby. So everyone's clowning on this.
I don't mind the bolo tie. Like, I honestly don't mind that one that you said was the worst. The flowery suit and the bolo tie. I mean, it's not something I would wear, but like, fine, okay.
It's pretty gay, man.
Honestly, the ones that I hate the most are the ones that are them in their actual character. Like they're ones that are going to be in the show. Her and the guy from the interview. Those look the worst to me. That's me though.
I hate fashion.
I think the guy in the black over here too. His pants are too. That's just too much for me. Yeah. But other than that,
the man kimono.
Yeah.
So everyone's clowning on this, and then people on Twitter will be like, "You guys are idiots because they did this for the Lord of the Rings movies too." And if you're saying this is dumb, then you're a hypocrite and you're not even a true nerd because you're so stupid. This is the photo that they're referring to from the Lord of the Rings movies.
Yeah,
these guys are just going out for a drink at the pub.
Yeah. Mostly.
Hey, here's our cast. Let's snap a cool pic.
Liv Tyler's doing a little bit.
Liv Tyler, like clearly thought that they were going somewhere nicer, and then no one else dressed up, and she's pissed. But it's still a normal dress.
Yeah. Well, Orlando Bloom got a little ascot.
The way you're framing Frodo with Orlando Bloom there.
No, that's how he how he dresses in real life.
I'm not saying it's a weird dress. I'm not his clothes themselves, but like it's a little bit more dramatized than other. But otherwise, yeah, no, this is just Orlando Bloom being himself. Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah.
Peter Jackson couldn't even be bothered to put on a shirt. Like he's in his polo
or shoes. He doesn't have shoes.
He doesn't have shoes on.
That's awesome.
I thought it was like, oh, it's a Hobbit thing, but no, the Hobbits have shoes.
Yeah.
What? Why doesn't he have shoes on? That's kind of weird.
Yeah, this is an apt comparison.
Which one is that? Is that Pippin or which one right behind Orlando Bloom?
Merry and Pippin.
No, the one right behind him. Okay, it was hard to see where his hand was to see if maybe they'd
it's on
composited it together, but it is on a piece of wood.
No, these are real trees.
Yeah, or at least they're actually there. Yeah,
these are just normal guys.
Yeah.
Did you see like Kate Blanchett did an interview where she's like, no one made any money. Like the actors, we showed up and we got free food for the day, and that was it. Like we just did this because we wanted to.
That's
like
wild.
They got paid, but it wasn't a lot.
Yeah. See, and if I was them, it makes the most sense to me
every single one of them
on the back end
is like an instant star, right? Like these people, everyone knows the cast of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Because
they made good stuff.
Even Merry and Pippin, who've done not a whole ton else since, like when you see them show up in anything, you're like, oh, hey, it's Merry, like they definitely didn't blow up a lot like a lot of the rest of them did, but they're still like.
Meanwhile, the cast of Rings of Power thinks they're famous and will likely never get work again.
Yeah.
I hate this comparison. Like, these people are pompous pricks. Anyway. You sent me this one. Rings of Power is doing Galadriel a massive disservice in season 2.
Yeah.
In season 2?
Is this a good take?
In season 1?
I believe this is a good take, yeah. They're saying that
1 and 2 compromises her true abilities as a character, showcasing her flaws, and because she's supposed to be a diplomat. Is this a good take from Screen Rant?
Yep.
Her decision to wear the ring in season 2 marks a significant departure from yes. Potential partnership with Galadriel and Adar in season 2 introduces major change in the story. Is this a good take?
It is indeed.
Seems like it.
They still come.
Yeah, look. They're idiots. Okay, the 3 rings for the elves were not made by Sauron. Okay, he made 9 for the humans, and he made 7 for the dwarves, and he was going to keep doing it, but he got caught. When he made his own ring, it let them all know, hey, we've been trapped. And pretty much, basically, the only reason that the world survived is because, what's-his-face, after that, made the 3 rings for the elves, using his technology, so they knew they could never wear them, but it, like, siphoned off part of Sauron's power. And only after he loses the ring do they put the rings on.
Yeah.
Like it was what's the guy's name?
Celebrimbor.
Yeah, like he kind of saves the day by making these rings
after having been
yes,
lured in or tricked by Sauron. Yeah, and that's going to be an interesting thing. I'll bet you it's because they want to they are really reacting strongly against the the racial divisions of good and bad situation going on there, and so they're trying to probably provide us with a good orc or something like that. I'll bet you that's what's going on.
Yeah, sure, but it still doesn't make sense that they know that Sauron is involved in the making of the rings.
No, yeah. I'm just looking at this.
And wear them in this season.
I'm looking at this part. The teaming up with Adar in Rings of Power season 2.
Yeah,
Right.
it's if you're hearing screaming, it's probably my son because he's having a sleepover with his cousins.
I was going to say, I'm like, it didn't sound like just your kids because
those kids get exponentially louder when they're together. Like it's. Gosh, I hate this show so much. Anyway, there's one more. Lord of the Rings trilogy villain confirmed to return in Rings of Power season 2. I saw this headline. I didn't read it because I wanted to guess. But
looking at this picture,
I mean, showing the picture. They're not showing a villain.
Yeah, I mean, it's
unless you're talking about Isildur,
the Trump guy.
Look, Isildur made mistakes.
Right,
he's not a villain.
Yeah, if they're showing him, I'm betting they're probably talking about the Trump character in that that Isildur was dealing with. I can't remember his name. What was the guy in their town?
Sorry, what?
The Trump character.
Oh, you mean the King of Numenor?
Yeah.
He
wasn't the king.
He becomes King of Numenor
Right.
by marrying the character that they're calling Queen. He usurps her. He tricks her, gains power by offering marriage.
That's what I would guess based on.
What's his name is? Oh man, it's been. Oh, I used to have this fresh. Do I need to reread the Silmarillion? What's his bucket? Yeah, no. I think they're trying to say Isildur. Yeah, they're saying Isildur.
Okay.
Who's not a villain?
See, the other thing that I thought that they maybe were going to be hinting
Shelob.
at was the Shelob. What I thought they might have been hinting at was the Witch King, the Witch King of the.
No,
because
he can't exist. He can't exist yet.
Yeah, that's what I guessed they were.
And neither should the Barrow Wights. They don't exist.
Yeah.
Like they're literally created by the Witch King of Angmar in the Third Age.
Yeah, and Shelob's not alive yet either, right? The mother spider or whatever that kills. Alive, right?
I don't know about that. Shelob's mom. When does Shelob's
mom kills the tree or something, right?
Well, with Melkor, but
that was all before this. And I don't remember if Shelob
is Shelob alive right now. I'd have to go back and look.
Yeah.
I think Shelob could be alive right now. They have long lifespans.
Yeah.
So this isn't nearly as bad as the Balrog appearing in season 1.
Right. I'm just going to laugh if they just tease Shelob the whole season and then nothing happens. Just like the Balrog last episode. There was so much marketing on the Balrog, and then all of a sudden it just wakes up at the end. And you're like, uh-oh, we did an oopsie.
Anything... I mean, season 1 had nothing, so anything would be an improvement on Isildur's character.
This is supposed to be taking place in the Second Age or First Age?
No, this is supposed to be the Second Age, which Tolkien basically said not a lot happens in the Second Age.
We're happening.
Just looking on the Lord of the Rings fandom website or whatever about Shelob, it mentions that a lot of her history is unknown, that she was last child of Ungoliant or whatever, but by the Second Age, she often feasted on her own children. Ungoliant. So, and yet long before Sauron took the land of Mordor for himself, she spun later. So it seems like...
The Silmarillion is like 90% the First Age, and it gets into a little bit of the Second Age.
What I think I'm reading here makes it sound like maybe Shelob was around during the Second Age.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she is alive.
Nice.
And Rings of Power technically glazes over like 10 minutes of the First Age. But it's not accurate at all.
Yeah.
So, Tolkien famously started writing a book in the Second Age and then said, "No, nothing happens here.
Yeah.
It would be boring."
Same thing with after the Lord of the Rings. People
Yes.
ask them to write another
The
one.
Fourth Age.
Like, well, I can tell you some bullet points of things that happen, but it's not worth the story.
There are so many. There's so much good stuff in the Silmarillion. Like there are some just beautiful, like heartbreaking stories. Like if they did they could literally do the Children of Hurin, which is the extended version of they have their story is in the Silmarillion, and then Christopher Tolkien, he had more notes from his dad on that one story than all the other ones, and so he did another version that's just an extended version of that story, and it's like a classic. It's a tragedy. It's a really, really good drama. Baron Luthien. There's so many cool stories they could have told, and they went with this garbage, and they're not even telling the good like.
Yeah.
I get so worked up about this.
Now, the one important bit about the Second Age is Sauron coming to power and forging the rings.
Yeah, it's like a couple pages in the Silmarillion, just like, hey, these were some of the battles. They did this and that, and then it ended with Sauron dying. Like,
yeah. I agree. I mean, there can be an interesting story to be told there for that.
But most of the story is in the First Age.
Yeah. They got to do it right, and they're not doing it right.
Like, the only part of the Second Age that gets interesting is right before the Third Age, right? It's
right.
Sauron built up an army in secret, and then it led to a huge war. But that's the end of the Second Age. Okay.
Yep.
Anyway, that's all the news. We weren't supposed to talk about, we weren't scheduled to talk about Dark Matter today because I didn't think people were going to watch it, but I watched all of it.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you. What do you recommend me to watch on Apple Plus?
Yeah, if you're only going to watch one of them, I'd go with Silo. Honestly, because I think that one's better.
Or Severance.
You gotta watch Severance, man.
My wife and I watched the first episode of Dark Matter, and it was really good. But then we watched Severance, and we haven't gone back because Severance is really, really good.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to talking with other Jared because he had a lot of thoughts on on Dark Matter.
Yeah, I mean, I want to watch as much as I can for the month that you have for free. So yeah.
Well, I paid for a month too. I had a week free, and now I'm paying for it.
Oh,
it's okay. Gotcha. I might do 2 months. I don't know. There's a lot of movies on there I want to watch.
Yeah.
But Dark Matter is good. It's a good show. It's an interesting premise that is very, very well executed. Like production value on Dark Matter is really great. I don't particularly love the choices that they made for the ending of the show. I don't like the ending because I think it's a bad choice. The choice that they made, they do it really well. I think it's a dumb choice, and it's not where I would have taken the story, and I think there's a much better story in Dark Matter. Because I was expecting it to be like hard sci-fi like Dark, which everybody needs to watch. And because it kind of starts off like it's going to be like it's going to really bend your mind and get into the science. And that's not what the show is. The show is a human story. It's very much about character and choices and stuff like that. And then the science fiction it's kind of just background noise.
Really?
Until the last 2 episodes, and you're like, I don't like that. So I'm not a fan of the ending. I think it's well made, and I think it was a bad choice that actually undercuts the entire purpose of the story. I don't want to spoil the last 2 episodes, but they make a very specific choice that for me completely undermines the entire story that they were going for and shifts. And it's still an interesting story, okay? Like, I'm complaining about it because I liked it. It's still a really good story, and I think they're trying to get a season 2, but, like, it's easily one that they could just, hey, that's it, you know? But they teased a couple things that could keep going. But I think they kind of shoot themselves in the foot, the end of Dark Matter. So I'm looking forward to you guys watching it so that I can speak less vague about it. But I'm excited to start. I'm excited to start Silo, and Jared said that one's better.
Yeah.
But I'll
have to finish it. I did like the first episode. There was one complaint that I had that we can get more into when we do a deeper dive.
Like you've only seen the first episode. You know what the show is, right?
Yes.
Like it's you understand what happened to the main character, right? It's
right.
Not like
and that's
it's
pretty.
I
mean, it was kind of spoiled in the trailers,
right? And that's and even in the like the tagline description of the show, they spoil the first episode.
Yeah,
and I think like the directing actually, I would have done some of the scenes in a different order.
Yeah, that's my.
I would have rearranged episode 1 to show.
Yes.
To do like the scene where he comes home and talks to his wife. That needed to be in a different order. It needed to have him walk in and start talking to his wife and have you figure out.
Yes.
This is not the same person.
Yes. That was my one complaint with episode 1. And it looked like they were going to do that because they have both of them going to the house at the same time.
Yeah.
But then they edit it in a weird way, which the audience already knows. And
yeah, it gives away the twist, which they're not trying to hide the twist, right? But it could have been a lot better. And episode 1 could have been better. I still liked it. Yeah, they give away the twist, and I guess if you're not trying to make it a twist, it's fine. It still would. I think it still would have been better.
It's still, even if you know the twist, it would have been more impactful if it was edited differently. That's my one complaint about that episode.
Okay, and there's a massive plot hole that might spoil episode 1 for the other guys. So we'll save it for next week. And yeah, you need to watch episode 2, I guess. The other thing that's a little bit frustrating is the guy teaches. He opens the show talking about superposition, and it takes him too long to figure out what's happening. Like I get that the other version of you is smarter, but like you should also be a little bit smart.
Yeah.
Also, it bothers me that they keep using Schrodinger's cat to prop up superposition when Schrodinger created the thought experiment to make fun of people who think that superposition is real. He was making fun of you. He's saying, how ridiculous would it be to live in a world where the cat could both be alive and dead until you open the box? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. And people use it to say multiple realities. Get over yourself.
Yeah. It's a
Schrodinger is rolling in his grave. Anyway, I'm looking forward to Silo. Highly, highly recommend Instigators. I laughed my head off. I'm looking forward to Wolves, too, which looks like another buddy comedy with Brad Pitt and the handsomest man of the year, like 10 years running, but he's too old now. The handsome old guy.
George Clooney?
George Clooney.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
That one looks fun.
That's hilarious. That was my first guess. He's an old guy, but he's too old. George Clooney. Yeah.
Like he got handsomest man alive like 10 years in a row.
Yeah.
Because all the old ladies fawned over him. He's pretty good looking. He's better looking than I am, I think. But anyway, anything else to say? I don't think we've covered everything.
No, I think that's it. I think we can do a deeper dive on Dark Matter, and Silo, and
Severance once you guys finally catch up.
Yeah.
Severance is fun, man.
Good. Severance is fantastic.
Ben Stiller, I just love that he's at the point of his career where he's like, I'm going to do what I want to do, and I'm not going to do it unless it's good. Ben Stiller's great.
Did he? Do we know if he's working on a second season of Severance?
Yeah,
I think so. I think
right
that it's finally coming around pretty, next year or something.
It suffered from the writer's strike as well.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it's filming.
That was so stupid. I hate that. Cool. Yeah, I'm 11. I think we're on episode 6 or 7 of Severance. It's been really good.
Yeah,
they're done filming. They finished in April.
Oh, nice.
That's
okay.
Right. Yeah, they're getting ready.
So
maybe early next year.
Should be. And they've been teasing, hey, well, release date soon.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah.
Wait, did they do a teaser?
They did a teaser for...
Oh, they released this coming out next year. They didn't say when.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, looking forward to Severance. Because they had to stop filming. They'd started and then had to stop when the strike began because people are stupid. Yeah. So, coming up, schedule. We've got more Dark Matter Silo TV shows for the next 2 weeks. Just basically talking about what everyone has seen. And there's not going to be any big releases. Please don't make me watch Borderlands. I'm definitely watching the Alien movie. I'm excited.
That looks really good.
I'm thinking it's going to be. I think it looks good.
I haven't seen the last 1 or 2 Alien movies, but this one looks really good.
I like all of them. I mean, some of them aren't nearly as good, but even Alien 3, I enjoyed the idea behind it. The execution was pretty poor though.
Yep. Same.
And people bag on Prometheus. I loved Prometheus. Alien Romulus, yeah, it's got some problems, but it had some cool stuff too. So, nice. I think Prometheus is it's like top 3 Alien movies. I don't know, maybe 2.
Yeah,
I think it's my second favorite Alien movie.
It was good. I just wish it explained a little bit more. It was just kind of, here's some things. Oh, xenomorph! Yay! That's how they came to be. Kind of.
There's no xenomorph in Prometheus.
At the end, is birthed through the thing.
There's no xenomorph.
Well, I'm gonna go watch Dark Matter, I think, or Silo.
What?
I'm gonna go watch Silo or Dark Matter. I'm gonna watch some episodes.
Yeah, dude, enjoy, man. The only problem is you'll have to write down what episode you're on because we're all watching the same shows at the same time, and it'll say.
Yeah, no worries. I always forget. I always remember.
Yeah, just write down what episode you're on personally because you'll have to go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really annoying that I don't like Apple's interface.
It's horrible. It's real bad.
You can't click on the show and look at the list of shows. The only option is to play.
Blame Netflix for that. They patented a whole bunch of interfaces.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even Disney Plus, I haven't loved how it's not as easy to go.
It's because they can't
watching.
Yeah, they have to come up with their own systems. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
you can continue watching and it will continue on that. It's like to sometimes go into.
It's ridiculous that those patents went through. It's to patent a user interface.
Yeah,
it's a pretty big stretch patent wise, and Netflix they're kind of dicks.
Well, I also wondered too how much of that was done before the rest of the streaming stuff really kicked off. If it's we do the streaming thing, we're the only ones that do it, and then it's they're like, sure, I guess, because you're the only one that's doing it.
Yeah. The second that people started announcing it, they're like, "Ooh, let's patent."
Yeah.
All right, guys. Have a good week.
Yeah, good week.
See you next time.
See you next week.
If you wanted to hear a little bit about Trap, I could talk about that.
But I think by next week it'll be presumed that we'll do full Dark Matter spoilers.
Okay.
And then by the 25th we'll do full Silo spoilers.
I'll try to get to Dark Matter. We'll see.
Okay.
Okay.
How much is Dark Matter? How many episodes?
9.
9. Hour long.
Yeah, but I breezed through them though. Like it was a pretty addicting until the ending for me. So
nice.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. It's been a good show. What was there? Was it anything else? Rings of Power starts 29th of August, baby. So we'll be talking. We start 3 freaking episodes. I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
I'm going to die, and that's the week that Tina's coming to town too. That week.
Oh yeah.
And a bunch of people, like you guys, are all going out of town like the week before. So I'm babysitting kids, and like, oh man, it's gonna be chaos.
Goodness.
Couldn't have chosen a worse week for Rings of Power, but I got to do it. Got to buckle down. Okay, yeah. I will say, I didn't love the ending, but Dark Matter has been pretty good for my mental health after watching all of that garbage. It was a good little relaxing thing. I've also been gone all week. I've been camping, so that's why I haven't gotten work done. But we'll see you guys next week. It's been a blast. Anything else to say? I don't have anything.
Nope.
All right. Peace out. I got to add a whole bunch of names to the end credits.
Ooh, you got some more channel members?
Well, they were gifted, so they probably only last a month. But you got to put them on. You got to honor it. All right. See you next week, everybody. Bye.
See you.
And now it is time to say goodbye.
We had a great conversation.
It's been fun. But all good things must come to an end, and the goodest ending I can think of is...
Right now, this moment, this night.
So I guess we just say goodbye.
So, goodbye.
Toodaloo. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao. Ding dao day. But come back next week for more outrageous bloopers.
This is the end.
Well, there's only one thing left to do.
I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If it's true, please take a minute to subscribe to the channel, and you can join us along for the ride. And if you pay me, I'll try to be more entertaining, so please consider joining Patreon and getting your name in the credits with pride.